Continuing now with our lead story, will the left back away from the torture issue? A poll done by Fox News Opinion Dynamics, I should say, says that 52% of Americans support the use of harsh interrogation techniques to obtain information for prisoners that might protect the United States from terror attacks. 34% oppose. Joining us now from Washington, Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. So, Congresswoman, why do you think the left is so invested in this issue? I mean, look, Governor Rendell's a stand-up guy, he's a smart guy, but his argument was theoretical, and they're all theoretical. And when you get down to it, we know what happened. And Bush is right. Bush did the right thing. All right, he protected us. He had to dunk these three guys, and he did. And he got information, and we captured a whole bunch of really bad people from it. Could he got it another way? Maybe. Okay? But he had guys sitting there. He had psychiatrists sitting there. He had medical doctors sitting there. So to me, I would have done the same thing. But to hear the left, this is the worst thing the United States has ever done. We're a terrible country for doing it. Why? Why are they doing this?
Well, it almost seems as though they need to come up with some sort of a case to defend the people who are making this action, the radical terrorists. And here, take a look at the terrorists who have beheaded people like Daniel Pearl. They don't think twice about that.
I don't know that that's fair, though, Congressman. I think liberal people are very, very angered that Daniel Pearl and other Americans have been murdered.
Oh, of course, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest that, but they're trying to find some sort of a defense here because it seems that America is always wrong. America's always the bad guy in their scenario.
There's some
We're
of that.
not.
There's some of that. And Khalid Sheikh Mohammed admitted that he was the one that cut Pearl's head off. So,
that's right.
I mean, that's another thing. But I think it does stem back to the fact, and I think President Obama has, this might be some of his attitude, is that we have brought a lot of this on ourselves because we're the bully in the world and we exploit people. But, you know, this is way beyond. When you talk to liberal people, I don't know if you do or not, they get visibly upset when you mention waterboarding and rendition and all. Now, Afghanistan, nobody supports that. That's insane. Those are just groundlings that they were roughing up. But these are big killers. And, I guess you're right. It has to do with America. They don't think we're a noble nation.
That's right, and they continue to take the side that is always running America into the ground. But there is no commonality between American soldiers and what American soldiers do and terrorists who would blow up buildings and kill 3,000 innocent people and then proclaim that they want to continue to take acts of violence like that forward. There is no moral equality, if you will, between what our American soldiers are doing and the terrorists. And we need to stand clearly with the side of common sense and national security. The president was only doing what we would expect him to do. Had he not garnered that information, had some terrible tragic accident occurred, the president would have been blamed, I dare say,
sure,
by the same people who are accusing him.
There's no doubt. If we had another terror attack, then the whole country would have been off kilter, and a lot of unintended consequences would have been unbelievable. Now, President Obama once says he wants to do business with you guys in the House now that you control. Number one, I think we have to give the president the benefit of the doubt that he's going to try. But I don't know if you have anything in common with him.
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the interview that the president just gave several nights ago, he said that it was not his policies that the American people rejected. He said that the people actually wanted him to do more and change more and do it more quickly. I think he's very, unfortunately, misreading what people have done. Where we can have common ground, I think, is with candidate Obama. Candidate Obama was a very reasonable fellow who didn't want any more deficits. He actually wanted to cut people's taxes deeply, it seemed, and he wanted to actually cut the costs on health care. That's not happening clearly with his government takeover of health care. So let's take candidate Obama at his word, I do, and let's sit down and repeal Obamacare and renegotiate it based upon costs.
He's never going to repeal Obamacare. So
it'll be tough to do. It'll be tough to do, but we need to renegotiate it based on cost.
The only way Obamacare in total gets repealed is if the president loses in 2012. And that brings me to my last question. Mitch McConnell made it quite clear that Republicans' main goal isn't working with the president, it's getting him out of there. Do you believe that?
I think our main goal is to get the country back on a good, sound financial footing because we can't play parlor games.
Does that mean the president has to go?
Oh, I don't think the president will survive the next election unless he radically changes course.
But how about you? Is it priority number one that he goes, or is it priority number one that you work with him?
No, priority number one is to get the country back on a sound financial footing. That's priority number one.
You're dodging my question now.
Oh,
Priority
well,
number one, he goes, or priority number one, you work with him. Which is it?
We work with them if the point is to get the country back to a strong financial footing.
All right, guys. Sorry to give you a hard time. I know you're not feeling well tonight. We really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very, very much. All right.